Hi, I'm Scott Blossom, and today I'm going to be giving a few thoughts about how we tend our digestive fires, our inner fires during the wintertime. My background is that I have been in clinical practice for about 20 years using both traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, and biology to serve patients. So I'm coming from more of that kind of background. And what I'd like to sort of put forward is more of an Ayurvedic concept of how we tend our inner fires, both on the physical level and the subtle mental and psychological levels during the wintertime. So to set a little bit of context, the basic understanding from the Ayurvedic perspective is that there's kind of nothing but fire, in the sense that everything that we experience from the outside, everything that we experience from the inside is penetrating us, transforming us. And in the process of doing that, changing and creating a dynamism in the way that we stay stable. And so to the degree that we're able to digest and assimilate not only our outer experience, but our inner experience, that's what nourishes us, even if the nourishment is something that's a difficult or challenging experience, or difficult or challenging weather or external environment. And so the wintertime is sort of defined as a time when the weather gets colder, and there's a few qualities that implies. And so colder weather will have a more contractive effect on the body, cause things to contract. It's something that also challenges our immune system. As we know, the wintertime, it's easy to catch a cold or flu, especially if we get stuck out where we get wet and then there's wind or something like that. It's also something that cold will tend to promote mucus. And mucus production, while in and of itself is not a problem, if it's excessive, it can also predispose you to getting colds or flus, and just having your digestion as well as your mental processes feel sort of heavy and a little bit dull. So in the context of all of that, our body, from the Ayurvedic perspective, our body increases its digestive fire. And this is a wonderful benefit, not only to keep us warm, but also to help us to digest heavier foods and more food that we will need to stay warm, to stay nourished, to stay really vital in the winter time. Depending on where you live, if you the foods that are available seasonally in the wintertime tend to be foods that are heavier. And that's partly because the winter is often a fallow season in many places. There's not a lot that grows in the wintertime. And so then you're eating things that can be stored, or they're dried, or they're canned. And those things tend to be richer in the macronutrients, especially nutrients that such as fattier and more protein-rich foods. And so while that is, a benefit from the perspective of you have a stronger digestive fire and you can digest these heavier foods, which could promote a little bit of weight gain, a little bit more of that feeling of being really sturdy and able to handle the changes in the weather around you. It can also contribute to that stagnation that cold weather will tend to promote as well. So at the physical level, it's wonderful to take advantage of having a stronger digestive fire and to eat more, to enjoy, and to be really sensitive to include regular movement, even if you're feeling like you want to hibernate. So regular movement of some kind, especially if you associate it with deep breathing practices, is excellent for promoting circulation through the whole body. Another really simple practice is to sip hot water throughout the day. And so in my case, what I do, especially in the wintertime, is I use a thermos where I can keep the water hot. Sometimes I'll make, some kind of herbal tea inside of the thermos, but a lot of times I'll just drink hot water. And instead of sort of trying to drink a cup of hot water once an hour or something, I will pour 2 or 3 ounces of water into the cup and then drink it slowly over about a 10-minute period of time. So I'm having 2 or 3 or even 4 of those interludes each hour, especially during the morning when I have, after sleep, it's good to rehydrate in the mornings. And what this allows for is not only does it hydrate you, but the lymphatic system has a very, very close relationship to hydration as well as the GI tract. So when you're pouring something warm, like hot water, into your stomach regularly through at least the morning of the day or throughout the day, it really helps to promote the lymphatic circulation through the gut, which is actually where 70% of your lymphatic system lives, and it is the seat of your immune system. So it seems very simple, but it's no surprise that in Ayurvedic medicine, hot water is considered to be the original medicine, because it has, when you use it this way, where you're having regular amounts throughout the day, it's very, very useful. On the mental emotional level, the coldness can actually kind of slow down thought. It can kind of make us a little bit dull, especially if we're having a lot of mucus production. It can also make us a little bit insensitive. So while it's good to sleep more in the wintertime, to really let your body hibernate to the degree that it wants to, it's also a really excellent time of year to do the kind of introspection that takes advantage of the slowness of the season, but instead of kind of becoming slow and dull, think about doing things that create the quality of being slow and incisive, penetrating, persistent about the way that you introspect in your emotions, your thoughts. And one of the best practices for doing this kind of or promoting that kind of quality is actually anything that makes you concentrate, especially when you're concentrating on something dynamic. So one meditation that is a good one in the wintertime is actually to light a candle and then just observe the halo of light. You're not staring at the flame, you're staring at the aura of the flame, and to allow those rays to come into your eyes so that you're actually literally imbibing light through your eyes, and your eyes are part of your brain. And then also to try to notice and follow the qualities of change that come into the candle light as you watch it. So you're really aware of all the subtle changes, and that's what keeps you very awake and penetrating with awareness. And this will help to balance out your digestive faculties mentally and emotionally throughout the winter as well. So I hope that is helpful, and have a great winter.